I'm a hair mineral analysis expert. I have a background in functional medicine, and I educate people using HTMA testing to maximize health, erase debilitating symptoms, and gain energy. I'm a multi-time kettlebell sport world champion, and I'm constantly searching for high-performance pros from all over the world to bring you this human optimization podcast. My name is Lisa Pitel-Killah. Welcome, everybody, to a brand new episode of the Human Optimization Podcast. I am so excited to have you with us today, either listening or watching. I have Linda Babulic with us today, author of ZEST, Your Life, one of my favorite books. And I'm so excited she decided to join us today. Unlike many who focus on life coaching or business coaching only, Linda builds both through values, assessments, and compelling training. If you're a business professional struggling with no impact, no influence, no income, and no freedom, she can help. She helps business professionals expand and increase business growth by discovering and making the most of their skills and talents so they get more income and more freedom. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that is pretty incredible. I love it. Life and business, because how are they separate? They have to be one, right?
Yeah, hand in glove. Because if you have your life all going great and your business is going down, that's no good. And then it's the other way too. If you have your business is just rolling and it costs you everything else. And we've seen so many, especially women, that happens to. They end up losing everything that they valued because they were building their business and the rest of it fell apart. There's no reason why we can't have both. There are also many, many women and men who have both.
Absolutely. And we can't wait to hear about that today. So, burning question for me is, what brought you into coaching, mentoring individuals to put them on a better path? What led you there to start doing this?
Well, I think that if you do my personality analysis, I was always one that liked to help people. I always wanted to be of service, but I didn't quite know how to work that out. And as some things happen, I fell into the right thing at the right time, at the right place. And I've got a resume about long. So I have run a court reporting firm. I worked for the Right Honorable Kim Campbell for a while. I put a conference together for her. And there were just all kinds of different pieces came together. My very first training experience was when I provided training for Boy Scouts of Canada.
Oh, you're kidding.
That's something not very many people know about me, that I was a Boy Scout leader and did their training programs for them. So that was the training part. And then I got into a niche market to the auto parts suppliers to Honda. This was about 20 years ago. And I provided them with a program that I still have called Fundamentals of Leadership. And hundreds of their entry-level supervisors went through this training program. And after class, people will hold me behind and they would ask me questions. And some of them became my one-on-one clients. And that's how I started doing the one-on-one coaching.
Got it. Well, that's incredible. And wow, so many different things you've accomplished and helped leaders grow and kind of figure out who they are and where they're going and where they need to be. And that's pretty incredible. So tell me the personal journey. Like, most of us have a personal journey that sparks the path of where we are now. Tell me about yours.
Okay. I had signed up for going to college after high school, but that didn't work out. My mom was sick and passed away. So it just wasn't going to happen. It was the summer right after I graduated from high school. So I had to go to work. So I found different jobs. And the one thing I did not want to do after high school was to be a secretary. And here I was. Yes, a secretary. And then I got married. I had various jobs. I worked for different corporations. But I had the opportunity to go back to university. and have a dream fulfilled. And I'd been taking night courses, but I finished my degree as an adult. And that set me on a whole new trajectory of having more confidence to be able to really follow those dreams. So the first job out of that was I became a travel agent.
Oh,
so
fun.
I'm very good at planning trips. We have great vacations. And that really helped me to provide people with a high level of service, because I'm very service oriented. You know, my vision, my mission is to be of service in love and beauty. And those are my initials. I saw that in a vision quest. LSB,
wow.
so service and love and beauty.
I love it. Wow. Yeah, I love that.
So it guides everything that I do.
Yeah.
Because if that doesn't align, then I can't do it.
Then you can't do it. It just doesn't fit with what you are, what you believe in. That's pretty incredible. Huh? Wow. So, I mean, so I have your book right here.
Thank you.
Right? That's the day I met you, I bought your book. I'm like, you wrote a book, I want to read it. Where is it? Do you have copies? So tell us about
I always have a copy in my purse.
Right? Oh, of course you do. If I wrote a book, I definitely would too. So tell us about it.
Okay, that's an interesting journey, because it's one of those things, you know, we should never dismiss a piece of a conversation that you hear, or somebody says something to you. It's significant. And I was at a women's centered circle, and one of the women, I said something, gave an opinion, and she said, you know what, if you did workshops on that, I would come. Oh, really? So I put together a series of workshops. Now, it turns out she never came.
You're
but
kidding.
Some of those very successful workshops,
yeah.
I ran the series twice, rewrote, and then third time around, I rewrote it as a manuscript. And really, that's what became the book. That's those 4 sections were pretty much the 4 workshops that I gave. And what I loved about it was I saw women change and transform right before my eyes.
Wow.
And I tell a couple of stories about that, as you know, in the book.
Yeah, absolutely. And incredible. And what a great read. I loved going through it. It was so amazing. So, and I could totally see how people would, like, you must be in awe, because I know for me and my clients, I'm always in awe of the things that they go through and watching them change. That's such an incredible journey to be with them and be able to help them get through that and be able to achieve more and be more and get everything that they want.
I had a wonderful note today from a writer in France that I've connected with. She found me online. She's read my book. She watches almost all of my Facebook Lives. And she said, I could write pages and pages about how much you've done for me and my personal development. It's like,
oh, that's incredible.
That makes it all worth it, you know?
That is what makes it all worth it. It's the clients and the people that you meet and the people that you help, and that totally makes it all worthwhile. Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about, like, you talked about the workshops coming together as a manuscript and now in the book. So tell us about what's in there. Give us a little sneak peek about those 4 sections.
So in the book, and I'm proud to tell you that it's endorsed by Dr. Joe Vitale of The Secret. That was pretty nice. And Marcia Weeder, who's the CEO of Dream University. And I'm a certified dream coach by Marcia too. She's an absolute sweetheart. She's been on Oprah like 6 times.
Yep.
And she's worked with presidents all over in the US. She was coached to, I think, Jack Canfield. Like, this is a heavy hitter.
Yes.
And just a fabulous person. And she endorsed my book. She's so sweet. And so what it's about is the 4 workshops were emotional zest, mind, body zest, spiritual zest, and what was the last part? Live your zest. So that's pretty much what it all came down to. Because for me, your zest comes from your emotions. Because we've all heard it, we all know it's true. There's so much research that supports it now, that our thoughts are fed by our beliefs. So we have our beliefs, and well, I start even before that. I start with the language. So when I'm working with a client, I can tell by their language will tell me their beliefs. The beliefs will give me their thoughts then show me their actions and the behaviors. So if you want to change the action and behaviors, you can start right off with the language. I mean, we've all heard the negative talk. Oh, I stumbled my foot, so now I stubbed my foot, that's it. I'm going to have 3 things bad happen to me today.
Right.
It makes no sense. So once you start changing all those negative beliefs and just flipping the switch over, and I show you how to do that, I call that emotional maturity. So you're not looking at things through the eyes of the first time that happened to you, because it didn't happen just once. So if something traumatic happened to you when you were 6, even if you don't realize it's traumatic, it will come up again and again and again. But if we now look at that incident, and I talk about that too in the book, and you look at the incident from the maturity you have now, you go, oh, that's why. As one of my clients, she was left in the hospital when she was 4 years old, and she thought she was abandoned by her parents. So when her son was leaving for university, she had all those abandonment feelings again. When we worked it through from the adult point of view, she realized her parents had 4 or 5 kids at home. They had to go back to the farm. The cows needed milking, the chickens needed feeding, and it was the best they could do was to leave her in the hospital care.
Right.
And once she realized that, hey, and my son's not abandoning me. I said, you raised him so well, he's going off to university.
Yeah.
And all that just got dismantled. It's quite a thing of beauty when you could see it just unhook all that pain, all the trauma just falls right away. I love it.
That is incredible. What a great story. And think of that, because sometimes we do, we think about things, but sometimes we have to think about them from the other perspective. And this happens a lot when obviously we're interacting with others. And it's like the walk a mile in my shoes kind of thing, right? Where we might not know what's happening behind or within their world. We're always relating it to us and how we felt about it, but not really understanding the other side of the picture. So that's a pretty big breakthrough to be able.
And that's why we hire coaches, so we can get somebody else's perspective. I mean, I work with coaches, and they go, "How about this?" And I go, oh, "I never thought of that."
I do
and
too.
Sometimes it's the most simple thing. It's like, why didn't I think of that?
It's like I should have thought about that, but
I didn't.
Exactly.
And now I have a new perspective and a new way of looking at it and a new way of doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So tell me the best way someone can use your book to change their life.
Well, they can purchase the book, which is always nice.
And you're going to give us a link at the end so that people can purchase if they're watching us on
Amazon. You can get the soft copy from Amazon.
Amazing.
If you're here in Ottawa, just connect with me and we'll find a way to get one to you. So the way the book is laid out, wherever you see a box is a series, it's an exercise. Mm-hmm. And to make it really easy, because people got stuck on exercise number 1 is who has your power. And in order to move them beyond that, I did a series of webinars. So I did 8 webinars that are on my website. So you get the book, you print off your workbook, and then I'll actually walk you through every question. Plus you have the input of other people that were on the webinar. Now, not all of them have people on them because they got so personal. And so I had to re-record it so that I could mention people and what they'd said, but I didn't want them to be divulging.
Right. No,
so openly. I don't think that they didn't mean to, but they felt comfortable enough that they shared.
Yeah.
So we walk through all of the exercise. It's a series of 8 videos. That's the best way if you want the most out of it. Yeah. Or you can do with my yoga teacher has read it at least 3 times. That's the last time I talked to her. And I have a friend that every Christmas, I think she gets the Facebook memory that reminds her. There's a picture of her sitting by the fire in her leggings and her big heavy socks and a copy of my book on her lap. She rereads it every Christmas.
Every Christmas. I think it is one of those
Yeah.
things you have to
Many
revisit.
couples have read it together too.
Yeah. And I could see that. And I think it's definitely something that you want to revisit, because we forget, we get busy and caught up in life and different things. And you just want to reread it to make sure that you're within on the track that you want to be on. I think that's really important. Yeah. Good. Why do you think this book came to light for you?
Well, I think there was a need out there for it. There was two needs. There's always the need of the people that read it and they get the most out of it. But I think there was a lot of it in there that needed to come out of me.
Right.
I think that's why 85% of the population in the US, and I imagine it's not very different in Canada, want to write a book.
Yeah.
It's because we want to express ourselves. We wanted to pull something out of there. And I'll tell you, that book was not written without tears.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you're trying to write about something, we talked about this before we got on air, it comes up. So I was writing about barriers to ZEST, and because there's always barriers in each section. And it was like, nobody yells at me. Nobody had yelled at me. And in 2 weeks, I had like people this close to my face, like ripping me apart. And I'm going, wow, that's interesting. And then I could write about it a little bit more and go, okay, that's how you keep your cool. You don't push back. You do this, you do this, you do this. This is how you deal. So it was really interesting how it really needed me to rip myself open, to let go the armor, to let go the pretense, and be just let it all come out authentically as I could, because I couldn't hold back.
Well, and that's good though, because that's not easy to do, right? Because some of this stuff that you're that's hard work, and that's a lot of emotion you're dealing with, and a lot of growing that you're doing at that time too. So, that's really a tough thing to do. So that's pretty incredible that that's exactly what came out of you, and then this is what we got from it, and something that we'll be using forever. Tell us about, so I know that you had a retreat. I feel like it was, oh my gosh, it seemed like yesterday, but I feel like it's probably not like
it was in January.
Right? I'm like, I feel like it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was called You Are the Zest.
Sorry, say that one more time.
It was called You Are the Zest. It was a retreat for women, a weekend retreat in a mansion.
Yes. So tell us about that. Tell us what happened. Tell us what you did.
So what I did was, remember the workshops I started with before the book? Basically, that's what I did. I pulled together the workshops that I thought the women would want the most, and the meditation and everything. And that's what we did for 2 days. So they brought their journals. I did some teaching. And a lot of the material, the book's only 60,000 words, so I couldn't put everything in there.
Right.
So it was filling in those blanks of the pieces that they didn't have in the book, and to be able to experience it. And it was really about sharing. There was some heartfelt sharing that went on. And it was really nice that all of the women that were there have all remained friends. Yeah, they're all still very connected.
Wow, that is an amazing event just in itself. Because when we're older, when it's your kids, it's so easy to make friends, and when you're older, it's so tough. Because we can't just walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, who are you? Do you want to be my friend?" It's a little different when you're older, and to meet people who have the same growth mindset, right? I think that's something where you have to have that type of mindset, and be in that same kind of circle. I think that's pretty amazing. Wow. So tell us what's next.
Well, I've been doing Facebook Lives every day at 3:00. Okay, and
so,
I am working. I'm going to be launching a program. This is the pre-launch pieces. So you're the first to know that at the end of September, I'm going to be opening a cart for what I call juicy, effective conversation techniques.
Love it.
because they're so emotional. You go to talk to somebody, you're afraid, you're not afraid, you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And we read the body language the wrong way. So that's what we're going to be talking about, is how to have juicy, effective conversations wherever you are. And whatever your intent is for the conversation. Doesn't even have to have a big meaning.
Yeah.
Just try to bring a little better stuff going on in the world than what we've got.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
that's what the videos have been talking about too.
Yes. And so I want to just review that for the video. So we're videos every day, 3 p.m. Eastern. And Facebook handle, do you want to spell that out for people who are not watching?
Well, you can find it on my personal website, but my personal Facebook page, but that has a lot of other stuff in there. So the best way to see all the videos in one place, plus you get some beautiful free gifts, is to go to my group and join my group. It's called Zest Your Life, Zest Your Business.
I love it. I love it. So Zest Your Life, Zest Your Business on Facebook. So that's great. And live every day at 3 with some amazing information. So effective conversations. Let's talk about that, because we're now in a society where we're having a lot of conversations like this, right? So for those who can't see me, I'm texting or I'm emailing, and that's not easy, right? I find face-to-face now for especially young individuals isn't as easy as it used to be, or as common. So how do you find that affects all, with what you're doing?
Well, certainly that was the topic today. I'm busting myths this week. So
okay.
That was that it doesn't matter. But that's the thing. It does matter how you write a text, how you phrase it. Do you say thank you? Do you show gratitude in your text, or do you just bomb off the very first thing that comes to your mind, copy and paste it from somebody else?
Yeah.
So that's the important thing about conversations, is to know they are important. And that whole whatever, I don't care. I was talking to someone who has a 12-year-old daughter, and I have a 12-year-old granddaughter. She's almost 12. And it's those one-word conversations. She goes, I know. It's all funny about it. But it's true. We need to, if we're good at verbal conversations, face-to-face conversations, then we will be much better at the written conversation, because people don't know the techniques. They go to a networking event, and if they've spent all their time texting and on their computer, they don't even know how to shake hands. I did a session for the business women at Carleton University. They were going to a big event at Harvard, and I showed them how to shake hands, how to look somebody in the face. And that's part of the training that I had a little while ago called Powerful First Impressions. Because that's part of the conversation. Even before you open your mouth, you've made an impression. So that was step 1, was powerful first impressions. And the next piece is to be able to have effective conversations.
And so very important, like when we talk about leaders, human optimization is about so many different things, right? I focus on health, I focus on fitness, we talk about leadership, we talk about focus. But, when we look at leaders in the business world or entrepreneurs, we really do have to focus on all of those things and know how to do all of those things, because if you think about it, so, I mean, you know this better than I, but I feel like, when we meet someone, you literally have probably
Okay, let's go back. Remember what I said about, I'm just going to interrupt you to give you a total moment here. You know what I said about your language tells me your thoughts and your beliefs? You just said to me, you know this better than I do. But I don't, Lisa. You know this as well as I do, and in your area of expertise, maybe you know better.
I don't know about that. But
change that language. You're the expert.
I love that. That's great.
Okay. So you were saying
first impressions. How long? I feel like it's about 5 seconds. If you walk up to me, I feel like in about 5 seconds I have made my impression. And my mom always said, don't judge a book by its cover, but covers sometimes don't lie. I don't know. Like I feel feel like that's all part of it.
I talk about it in my book because I think the author's name's John Donahue that I quote, because we've been taught in our society that our soul is inside our body. But his theory, and I adhere to this, our soul is actually on the outside of our body. So when you first meet someone, it's their soul that you meet, and you will either be rejected or you'll be warmed by it. And you've met people that you just want to, oh my God, I just want to give you a hug right now. Like, be my friend, be my friend.
Yeah, and you feel such a connection.
Yeah. Don't come near me. So I think that's what it is. You're feeling somebody's energy from across the room. We've all seen it happen.
Yeah.
You see somebody walking down the street and you can tell, you know, if they're walking okay, if they're having a good day. Or I was walking through the market the other day and there was this woman, I could feel her pain from 20 feet away. And as she crossed me, sure enough, she looked like she'd been crying. So it's, you know, you can feel that energy. That powerful first impression starts way off. And we need to be able to do it on video. We need to be able to do it face to face. And we need to be able to do it in our text messages also to show that we care.
And it's true. And I think part of it is just that speed. Everything we do is so fast, right? We have to get this done and this done, and we have a to-do list that's this long, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'll never get through that even in 2 days, and everything's so quick. So we lose that, I want to say, the human aspect of things, right? The aspect where we just respect one another and realize that we're all busy, but it's nice to take a few seconds once in a while to say, hey, how are you? And how are you doing? And, when's the last time someone came up and said that and really meant it and really wanted to hear the answer? I think that's the part that people forget sometimes.
I did that in a networking a few weeks ago. I met up with someone. I hadn't seen her in about 6 months. And I said, how are you? She says, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, you're good, but I'm feeling all of this and it's not good. And she got big tears in her eyes. She says, only you would do that to me. And I said, yeah, we're going to have to get together. There's something going on in there. And she was still going through a lot of hardship. So you can certainly see that. The other thing that I've noticed, you can catch yourself. Like, you get to the counter and they say, what can I get you? Okay, I'll have a large latte mocha, blah, 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 blah. And then I go, oh, and good morning. Like, I'll do my order first because raised as a good Canadian, we're polite. So I answer the question and then I say good morning after.
Yeah.
And they're always startled. It's so much fun.
Right, because they're not expecting it. They're like, oh, actually, I'm really good. Yeah. You're like, that's amazing.
Good morning.
Yeah. It's true though. And so that brings me back to, part of that whole holistic part of us is the energy, right? Is our spiritual side and how that all interacts. And I think, this is something that we can talk about just because it's so important, right? And it's all part of what you bring into your workshops and talk about in your book and all that. So let's explain a little bit more, or tell me about your passion of how that all goes together for you.
Well, and for me, it's more dealing with women, and I'm going to be expanding that. I'll probably launch something in January where I'm headed more that way, because there seems to be a lot of interest in the surveys I've done. And what I'm finding is that we've tended to contract, and it's not just women. I think men also. We've contracted our energy. We've built ourselves a nice little protective bubble. And sometimes we put them bricks. Sometimes we put steel belts in there. Make sure it's
mortar,
strong. A little wood coat of armor. Yeah, a little helmet on.
2x4s.
We have the stern face. We've contracted our energy. We've put ourselves behind a wall to protect ourselves. And it's time we took the chisel out and we got rid of that and de-arm ourselves, and to be able to expand our spirit and our souls, because I think we owe it to the world. I am convinced that we all have gifts. Me, you, everybody who's listening to this podcast and watching us, We all have gifts to give to the world, and we want to give them. So why are we hoarding? It's wrong. We're doing a disservice to the world by hoarding our gifts. We all hold knowledge, gifts, a smile, a handshake, a nod of the head. We all can share that, and we can share it with anybody at any time. So I think that's our part in the world. Our next evolution is to continue. Even if we started expansion, we need to continue to expand and to expand and to expand out into the world, because I think we're at a tipping point. But we need to have that critical mass of people that are more evolved, that are more expanded. Boom, then the whole world would change.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
That's, well, and I love that. And you know, I think part of that, and maybe all of it, is fear. I think
absolutely.
They're scared to take the armor off, and they're like, oh my gosh, if I take the armor off, someone's going to say something that I'm not going to like. And I mean, that does happen, right? That's part of life and what have you. But yeah, it's getting rid of that fear, and knowing that whatever you do, just do it, right? Stop being scared and try and face that fear and try and move forward with no fear, and just whatever happens, because you're still fine.
Absolutely. There's only two emotions, fear and love. And they can't play nice together.
No.
They just don't play nice together. So when you're in fear, you can't be operating in love. So as soon as you feel that fear coming into your heart, the quickest way to change it is just think of something that warms your heart. Mm-hmm. You know, if it's your kitten, your puppy, your kids, your partner, whatever it is, a beautiful sunset, a sunrise, a warm bed, whatever it is, just think of something that puts you in that place of warmth and love. And all of a sudden, you're not scared anymore. You're not afraid. You're safe. You're all good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good advice. And for those of you watching on YouTube, this is who takes my fear away.
There you go. And you know, that's very true, because spiritually, dogs absorb negative energy.
They do. And he's so smart. He definitely, he's been on the podcast once before, but he sits on my lap while I record. He's such a good dog. But he takes my fear away for sure, because he definitely opens up my love side and emotion. So
yeah, my dog sat inside the well of my desk, where I put my feet, and he's a 70-pound Labrador Retriever. And he would just curl up on my feet while I wrote my book. Thunder sat on my feet.
Oh, wow. And probably some inspiration there too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and when I ran out, then we would just take a walk down the country mile to get to the mailbox, and yeah, he was good.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, that's good. So yeah, so I just want everyone to think about kind of what we talked about today, just with regards to not forgetting about that emotional side that we all have, that a lot of us shut down, and out of a lot of fear for what other people might think. And you know what? Stop thinking about what other people think, and just and focus on that love. Because Linda, you're right. If you focus on that, the rest doesn't matter, right? You're not scared anymore. And yeah, and I mean, I'm so excited for what's coming up for you. I think that, just with regards to having that area where you can feel safe and share and open up that spiritual energy side, I think that is so it's so necessary. We need to tap back into that. We need to kind of get back into kind of what we're really all about. And I'm super excited for what's coming down with everything going on with you.
It's good. It's all good fun. It's very zesty. It's how you zest your life, zest your business. Exactly. And it has to be together.
And you're right. And that's one of the, when you say that, it has to be together, because you're right. So many people end up sacrificing one for the other or vice versa, but you don't have to. There is a way to do it all and be happy on both fronts. And I'm so happy that you've been able to bring that to light in a book that people can use, follow the webinars. I think that's incredible, and something that everyone should look into. So let's get into contact info, because we need to make sure people know how to find you.
Okay.
So website, we talked about Facebook. So we'll talk about that again, though. I'm going to let you walk through that. And if you're watching on YouTube, this will come up at the end of the slides so that you actually can write down the information. But if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, or some other podcast domain, then we want to make sure that you know exactly where you can connect with Linda.
Well, you can find me on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. Some of the videos are old, so they're pretty funny because they go way back. But you can find me there. Just go into YouTube and search Linda Babulic. You'll see me on stage telling a really funny story about the time Santa called me naughty. That's a pretty good one.
I haven't seen that one. I don't know what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, I've been called naughty by Santa. They're not good. And so some of those, and a lot of the ones that I've been doing on Facebook, I've popped them into my YouTube channel. Not all of them. And certainly, so you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on my website, which is lindababulic.com. Babulic. And for the French people, say facile. Babulic. They don't complicate it with anything else. And I'm on Instagram, Linda Babulic. I'm keeping it simple. And my book can be found on Amazon or at Chapters online for the soft copy. You can order the hard copies if you want to also, if you really want to have it in your hand, because the cover does feel nice, doesn't it?
It feels
it's a nice
fabulous.
feeling.
It's nice and soft. But yes, you definitely want to grab a copy of this. So make sure you either go on Amazon or some of the other forums where you can get that. Or again, if you're in Ottawa, you can reach out to Linda and get a copy straight from her. So that was.
And if you're interested in getting a group together, I'm more than happy to, gather if 6 of you are reading the book, and I'm happy to gather with you through a Zoom call into your book club, or to come and see you if you're close by within a reasonable drive. I can get into my little orange Volkswagen Beetle.
I love it. What a great offer. And
so I'm all over.
I love it. Take advantage of it. Linda is absolutely wonderful. And I can't wait to get involved and see what's coming down for end of September and January. I definitely want to be involved with that because I know I will learn a lot for sure. I
have a special gift for your listeners, and it's a meditation. It's a relationship lake meditation. They can drop me an email at linda@lindababulic.com, and I'll send you the link. Or it's also in my Facebook group, and I did post it on LinkedIn. I'm also on LinkedIn. So you could get this free meditation that will walk you through relationships. It's me. It's the one that's in the book. Yeah, that makes a really
good. Yes.
Yeah, everybody loves that one.
Okay, excellent.
You can unravel relationships from the past. Even though those people have been long dead, you can fix that up for yourself. And this meditation will help you do that. So that's my free gift and my appreciation for you having me. I'll send you the link, Lisa, so that you can download it for yourself and you can send it out to your fans.
I will definitely share it. Yeah. So anybody who is listening or watching, make sure you take advantage of that. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for that offer, Linda. And I know that people will enjoy that and the growth that they'll get from that.
Thank you so much.
Well, that is it for us today. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, or listening, if you're on your favorite podcast host, and we will see you next time for another episode of the Human Optimization Podcast. Thanks for listening to today's show. Head on over to Killah, KILLAH.org to gain access to some amazing resources that will help you gain energy, rid yourself of debilitating symptoms, and be the best version of you. Remember to give this podcast a like and follow me on Instagram at coach.killah. I'm here every 2 weeks with a brand new episode of the Human Optimization Podcast. Until next time.